Hi everybody! Well, I'm sorry it's been a while since I've uploaded, but in my defense, I just have to say that this modding business is hard. And it's a huge time sink. Oh, as you may know, when my Xarg series finished, I decided to completely scrap my existing Skyrim mod setup, and I started over from scratch. It's been a huge undertaking, and I've spent just a ton of time over the past 6 months trying to figure out which mods I wanted, installing them, uninstalling some, troubleshooting, so forth and so on, until I think I finally settled on my must-have mod list, which turns out to be 633 mods. Do you think that's too many? Okay, for the record, 633 mods is a lot of mods. But the question then is that really too many? And I think the answer depends on several things. So first is the kinds of mods that they are. Second is the power of the computer. And third is any one person's individual level of patience and tolerance in order to make all of these things work together. So in my case, I'd say I'm doing pretty good on all 3 accounts, because most of my mods are actually visuals, or they're simple things like outfits and jewelry. I don't have that many mods that I would say are far-reaching, touching many aspects of the game, and so that means I've got a lot less issues with compatibility, although I still do have some significant conflicts that I need to sort out. As for the computer, I rebuilt mine not that long ago, and it should be plenty powerful enough, so that's good. And for the last point, while I get frustrated and impatient and, even angry at times when things aren't working, I'm just too stubborn to quit until I've figured something out. So yeah, although 600 plus mods is a heck of a lot of mods, I think I'm going to be able to make this setup work. So which mods have I picked? Well, I fully intended to just start small by installing the ones I thought I couldn't live without. But if you've modded at all, you probably know that strategy lasts just about until the time you open up the Nexus and you see the hot mods list. So I can't really call this my minimum mod list, although I have gone through and made some important choices, trying out a few different mods and then ditching some, comparing some different options, especially for lighting and landscapes and weathers, and then finally settling on the list that I have here. As a disclaimer, let me say that I haven't finalized the load order yet, so I'm going to show you my list of mods, but don't put too much emphasis on the current load order. Here's what we've got going on though. We've got some basic tools and utilities mods, which we need to help the game and the other mods work better. We've got some basic visual and auditory improvements, some user interface improvements, my collection of weather-related mods, my lighting-related mods, a few needs mods, landscape, snow mods, a lot more visual retextures. There's a lot of these, you'll see. These make up the majority, probably, of my mod list. I also have a lot of character asset mods, because I really like to, play paper dolls in Skyrim. We've got new body shapes, skin, hair, eyes, war paint, makeup, tattoos. Likewise, I've got just a ton of armor, clothing, and jewelry mods. I mean, hundreds, probably, of these. Probably even more than the visual retextures. I've got a few new areas to explore, and some new and improved quest mods. A few new followers. Some various gameplay related mods. small handful of NPC behavior related mods, and then lastly, water mod, sun shadows, and an improved map to round out the list. I'm hoping to make some videos that will focus on each category separately, just so I can show a bit more clearly the mod choices that I made and how I organized them in my final load order. But I thought this quick tour should at least satisfy any curiosity about which mods I settled on. And now that I've got all of them installed, the real work actually begins. And that's making all these mods play nicely together so that I have a seamless and stable game experience. There's two important things that I've been focusing on for that. The first is load order in both the right hand and the left hand pane in Mod Organizer 2, and conflict resolution. So for load order, I really started off by focusing on the left hand pane in MO2, which is where I'm making sure that all of the mod assets, meaning the textures, meshes, the scripts, and so on, are in the order I want and in the order they need to be in order to make things work right. Then I've got to make sure that the plugins, which means of course the ESM and ESP files that provide the mod's instructions to the game, I have to make sure those are also in the correct order, and that I'm doing via the right-hand pane in MO2. Now over there in that right-hand pane, I could just rely blindly on loot or similar tools to sort the plugins for me, but I found that loot doesn't always get it right. So between that and the fact that I really wanted to be sure I understood what each mod was doing, I decided to go through the incredibly time-consuming task of looking up each mod again, yes, all 633, on the Nexus, and reading the front page thoroughly, taking notes about any particular installation and load order instructions that I found. Now that took forever, like it really did, as you would probably expect. But it was really, really helpful. It was great to remind myself why I had even picked some of these mods in the first place. And I actually think I've gotten my plugins in a decent load order at this point, just by doing that exercise. And I haven't even run loot yet. But I can open the game and I can play without any major hiccups, so I feel like that's actually pretty good success, even if things aren't running quite perfectly yet. So my next steps are just to double check Lexi's guide and the LOTD Plus guide to see what they say about load order for mods that we have in common. Then I'm going to back up everything thoroughly. I'm going to run loot, forcing any mods to load in a particular order as indicated by the instructions I've collected. And then after that, that's actually not the last step. After that, I'm going to get into SSE Edit and then address all remaining conflicts that actually need to be addressed. So it's still a lot to do. But like I said, at least my game is running and it looks really good. So I can actually, take a break here and there just to go in and tool around with some characters and play around and have fun. And then come back out, work some more on load order on a separate profile. And eventually I think I'll have this thing all set up and ready to go. And I'm really excited about getting back in and playing. I just wish I had a little more time. I need to find some more spare time in the day so I can finish these last tasks. But I'm hoping I'll be able to get back with another video soon. In the meantime, just wish you all good luck with your own modding adventures. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.